In 2012, I believe, my friend and we applied to be a part of the Neighborhood Leaders for Today class. At that point, I had moved back to my childhood neighborhood, Culbertson East Highland. So when I moved back, it was challenging. It was difficult to see a neighborhood that I love so dearly in bad shape, with dilapidated houses and blight. So I attended the class. I remember after one break, I went up to Georgie in tears because I was so overwhelmed with a sense of responsibility to that neighborhood. I didn't know what had to be done, but I knew something had to happen. And I remember Georgie putting her arms around me and telling me, it's gonna be okay, we're gonna do it together. That started my journey into community development. You know, my initial focus was working in the inner city neighborhoods, working to help them reorganize their communities. But what I found is that neighbors all across Oklahoma City needed our services. So I had an opportunity to work with lots of different people in the community. So I believe now it's the responsibility of neighborhood leaders, civic leaders, to not only affect change in their own right, but to also reach back and train their replacements. It's important for us. It's how neighborhood building continues. Our first Scout Fitch Award winner was Ruthie Presswood. I'll never forget meeting Ruthie Presswood. It just so happened that she also lives in the neighborhood I grew up in, Culbertson East Highland.
I like to be involved in my community because I feel as if I need to be involved, and like I should be a role model to my peers to show them that like it's cool to help your community and like it's your community. One project that we did was get signs throughout our neighborhood that said Culbertson East Highland, and we got FD Moon some signs for their school because their sign was like not very nice, but we fixed it up.
She is so full of promise and passion and energy about her neighbors. And that's rare in this day and age to find children like that. And I saw a little bit of myself in her.
I knew about Neighborhood Alliance through Moon when I went there at elementary, and I met Miss Ashley. And she told me about the projects and how I can get involved. They actually taught me a lot. They actually changed my perspective about my community, because at first I just thought of it as a place, oh, we just live here and here. But instead I think of it as like a family, like we just one big family.
What we do is we find people with gifts and talents, and we unlock those talents. Lots of times we find neighbors who, like myself, started out, don't know where to start, what to do, but they know that they want to affect some sort of change. And it's our responsibility to unlock the gifts and talents of those individuals. Not only do we find neighbors that are champions in their community, but we also have to convince individuals that they have within them the power and the capacity to help others in their communities.
Well, the Neighborhood Alliance, I think, is one of those organizations that we should nourish and support, because really what the Neighborhood Alliance is doing is taking the voices of many people, of many neighborhoods, of that diversity, of people who have had experience, who have hopes and ambitions and want to raise their families and make the world a better place. Neighborhood Alliance gives voice to that common goal.
The Neighborhood Alliance changed the way that I look at communities. I like to tell my peers, like, don't be of the community, be in it. Because if you of it, it's like you let everything just happen around you instead of being involved in it to better the community, and not the community like change you, you can change the community. I do it because I want to see my community evolve in a better way and get better and better and better.
And I think all of us should support Neighborhood Alliance now and in the future, because I think it's very important that we have organizations that speak for us, people who cherish our neighborhoods, have a sense of community, embrace diversity, and really want to move this community forward.
There's so many different opportunities for an individual to plug in to community development and plug into what we do at Neighborhood Alliance.